Hello everybody and welcome to the GMS Magazine channel. I am Paco Garcia, your host, and this is the GMS RPG Academy, the show in which I give you my insights as to how to go about publishing your very own role-playing game. There is more content for our Patreon supporters, so if you want me to go even deeper into these topics, please do help us with just a couple of bucks, and that would be very, very much indeed appreciated. Anyway, we need to talk about a very, very touchy subject, and it is how to deal and handle negative feedback. Roughly speaking, negative feedback can come from three different sources: dislikers, haters, and trolls. At least that's my basic organization of those people. Dislikers are people who just don't like something. They've read it, they expected something, and they didn't like it. I have a review from somebody who bought Dragon Kings, the 5th edition rule book, and he didn't like that a lot of the book was composed by player characters. Because that was going to be useless for him, and thus it was overpriced. Of course, this person doesn't know that those characters are there because people pay to have them there, but also because an awful lot of people could use them. Just because something is not useful for somebody doesn't mean that it's not going to be useful for somebody else. But also this, that is a perfectly valid criticism. You've given me something I didn't expect and something that isn't really good for me. That's fine. That's a disliker. No issues at all. It's something to keep in mind. It's feedback that can be heard. Then comes the hater, and the hater is the one who hates it and berates it. So that's just bringing it up a notch. How dare you doing this thing? It just hates it, but that's all it does. It hates. Those two categories are pretty harmless, and it's worth hearing what they have to say. Okay, the disliker, because they're likely going to give you a valid and constructive criticism, and the hater, because if we can look behind the message, and that's what I will be talking to my Patreons about, we can find some interesting bits of information as to how to find that message. Yeah, I will tell you about that to my Patreons. And then is the troll, and the troll is a person who proactively goes to hurt the product and hurt the author for no real good reason. It's just that they decided to take the hate a step further, and they think that you should never ever publish anything else ever again, ever. And they go at it in a bad way. Now, engaging with the first two is possible. Engaging with the disliker tends to be constructive if it's done in the positive way. Engaging with the hater is a bit more delicate, and I will advise caution. Engaging with a troll is very dangerous because they feed on that. But the thing is that they also feed on silence. So they can keep coming back. So, one has to be careful as to how to deal with all those things. The important thing to remember, though, is that you will get it. You will get people who don't like your product. You are going to find people who hate your product. And you're going to find people who hate you for making that product and saying something that may not even have anything to do with role-playing games. I know I have some trolls because I've said something that have nothing to do with role-playing games. It's about to do with politics, and they hate that because they're completely opposed to it, and they don't want to hear it, and thus I am evil because of that sort of thing. And I have trolls because I've said something that they didn't like saying that the pay-as-you-go, pay what you want system is something that I don't like at all. So remember that you will experience this sort of thing, and building the network of support and protection that you need in order to, survive that unscathed emotionally and mentally, that you don't run out of this enthusiasm to publish, is quite important. So always, first and foremost, breach for safety. Do whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe from that kind of comments. If you find it difficult to deal with them, don't. Find somebody who will. Thank you very much indeed. Please leave me your comments, because I would love to hear if you've had to deal with a troll or a hater. How do you do it in a way that was actually constructive and that led to something positive and good coming out of it? It would be truly good to hear that sort of story. So until the next time, thank you once again for being there, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.